110th Street is a hell of a tester. Across 110th Street, pimps trying to catch a woman that's sweet. Across 110th Street, you can find it all in the street.
You are listening to Undercountry Music with Neal Smith, digging under the surface, finding the underground country music, news, and interviews, and bringing them to you.
Hey, hey, hey! It's episode 110, Undercountry Music. This is your old pal, your uncle from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You know that weird one that the family doesn't really like to talk about? Yeah, that's me. I'm coming to you from high atop my internet broadcasting tower, overlooking the tree in my backyard. Okay, this week I figured I'd do a little something different. Every single week, I sit here and bitch about the garbage being shoveled by Nashville and slapped with the label of country music. Well, that's getting a little old for me, so this week, I'm going to not only play you some great music that you won't hear on mainstream country radio, but I'm also going to scour with my little scouring pad the top 20 in country according to Billboard and bring you my thoughts on the various songs and artists that make up the upper echelon of that music we all know and love called country, in hopes that I might actually find something good to say about someone this week, or at least one song in the top 20 that doesn't completely suck. You know, I get an okay amount of submissions from independent artists of all types for this show, because word's starting to get around that I play the music other people won't. Unfortunately, 90%, yes, about 90% of all the submissions I get for this show, music-wise, really suck. And that puts me in a tough spot, because, I want to promote good independent music, and I want to bring you the best show I possibly can. At the same time, I don't want to be a douchebag to, people who are into country and people who might like this show, and, I want to support them and everything. But it's really tough, So, usually if something has a terrible sound quality, a cliche title, I got one last week called Country Boys Saturday Night. I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude, but when you fart out a title like that in a half a second, I'm not going to get excited about that. I'm not even going to listen to it. I'm damn sure not going to bring it to you to listen to. Where I really went wrong last week is I actually responded to that person that sent me a song called Country Boys Saturday Night, which I never listened to. And, I let them know the reason I couldn't bring myself to put it on the show or listen to. And I encourage them to maybe dig a little deeper. Give me something with some thought and feeling, something funny or weird or something that you really want to get off your mind from the pit of your gut. Well, that person didn't take my response too well and sent me back a big F-you letter. Wait, sorry about that, buddy, but, that's why if you've sent me some BS you farted out in half a second, or if you're singing the same old "Ooh, Baby, I Love You," or "I'm So Heartbroken You Left" song, or if your tune is using a tired riff everyone's heard 5 million times, like, 12 bar blues or something like that, if I can listen to your song and predict flawlessly what the next chord is going to be, I don't really want to put it on the show. I'm sorry. The idea of my show is to bring people music that you don't get everywhere else, and that doesn't suck. That's going to cost me some listeners here and there, but hopefully it'll gain me some other listeners over there and there. But, I've decided I'm not going to bring you crap, and that's a line I'm drawing in the sand, and I'm not budging. You know what? I can't take it, so I'm not going to dish it out either. Kind of like our first artist of the show today, courtesy of CDX Distribution and Stubborn Horse Records. Here is Joe Allen from Idaho with his song, Can't Take These Things. I can't take it either, damn it. You're listening to Undercountry Music, episode 110, with your old pal, Neal Smith.
my grandpa fought to keep this country free. And I'll be damned if I'm gonna let these politicians walk on my liberties. I'm free to pray in my own way. I'm free to say what I wanna say. I'm free to chase my own American dream. And you know that I believe they can't take these things away from me.
Oh, yeah, my word, baby. That was Joe Allen with Can't Take These Things. All right, as I promised you earlier, I'm going to review the top 20 in country music according to Billboard this episode and see if I can find something, anything I can say something nice about, because I'm really getting sick of my show being a piss and moan session. So let's do a top 20 countdown here, and I'll give you my thoughts, whether you like them or not. Here we go. Coming in at number 20 on the Billboard Country Countdown, we've got the song Stay by Florida Georgia Line. You know, I mean, this is another I'm So Heartbroken You Left Baby song. It's been done. It's tired. It's crap. Next, number 19, Automatic by Miranda Lambert. Now, this one's actually all right. You know, the song's about how good things were back in the good old days before everything became automatic. Sort of along the lines of Different World by Bucky Cummington. Remember that song? I mean, you know, it's not the greatest tune I've ever heard. I mean, nothing groundbreaking, but it doesn't suck. I'm glad to report that I've heard something from the mainstream that doesn't suck. Number 18, Play It Again by Luke Bryan. Okay, I didn't even get past the first line of this song once I started playing it, and it already had 3 bad cliches in it. You know, the girl, a tailgate, and Georgia Clay. Right there in the first line. I'm sorry, I don't need to listen to this one any further. Luke Bryan is one of the worst when it comes to examples of everything that's insulting about today's mainstream country music. And the real sad thing is that the more of it that Music Row shovels, the more the mindless masses eat it up. I can't blame Music Row or the artists that make this stuff, because you know what? They're all trying to make a living. They obviously don't give a crap about music. But, you know, if the brainless masses weren't buying it, they wouldn't be selling it. But number 17, Beat of the Music by Brett Eldredge. You know, it's another Ooh, I Love You Baby song with the old, but it's got the old Down in Mexico twist, you know. Formula crap at its finest. Yay. Number 16, Everything I Shouldn't Be Thinking About by Thompson Square. Well, this one's a fun, poppy tune. It sounds like 80s pop was done with southern accents. You know, it is another Ooh, I Love You Baby song, like just about everything else in the top 20, but you know, it's one of those guilty pleasure songs. You know, it's formula. You know, they put almost no thought at all into this piece of S that is nothing. It says nothing, but I still can't get it out of my head. Number 15, we've got Dan and Shay, or is it Dan plus Shay? They put a plus sign between them. It's Dan and Shay with a song called 19, You and Me. Another Ooh, I Love You Baby song on the beach. It totally rips off the Rascal Flatts sound, too. You know, how am I doing so far with not turning this show into a piss and moan session? I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. All right? I might be failing, but I am trying. Okay, number 14, Compass by Lady Antebellum. This is one of those pick yourself up and follow your heart songs. And it totally rips off the Philip Phillips song, Home, which in turn rips off about a million other songs. It's brainless pop country. It's positive, uplifting, and sounds like it's destined for an episode of Glee. Number 13, Drink a Beer by Luke Bryan. Do I even need to go past the title of this song to find the bad cliche? Enough said. Next. Number 12, Goodnight Kiss by Randy Houser. First line of the song. Girl, I finally got you up in the seat of my old truck, and I bet you're wondering what we're gonna do. Yep, it's another Ooh, I Love You Baby song. The twist on this one is that he wants to start the date off with the goodnight kiss and pretty much cut to the chase. Well, duh, that's what all guys want to do. Who the hell wants to pay a bunch of money to go to a movie and dinner and all that garbage and drinks? Holy crap. Whole paycheck's gone by that time. Yeah, let's see how far I'm getting first, and then we'll see how much I spend tonight. I can get behind that. Number 11, Rewind by Rascal Flatts. Yeah, another Ooh, I Love You Baby song about how they wish they could go back in time and relive this romantic night all over. All right, I'm going to cut it right there and come back later in this episode to do the top 10 since we got through from 20 to 11. But before I do that, here's a little ditty from Angie and the Car Wrecks out of Washington State. It's coming to you courtesy of musicalley.com, and the song is called Some Kind of Hate. All right, I didn't mean to take it there, but, you know, I'm not trying to hate on everyone, but it's just the way it's fallen here on episode 110 of Undercountry Music with Neal Smith.